Welcome to the Moment Masters Show, where we give you tips and tricks to help you master crucial moments with your customers and clients. In every episode, we help you strategize for long-term small business success. And now, please welcome your host, Shakira in Brown. Yes. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Moment Masters Show, where we help you master the very moment in which you have the opportunity to sell your goods and services to your target audience. This podcast is all about arming you with the tools you need to achieve the growth and success you want. I am Shakira Brown. You can learn more about me at momentmasters.com, or you can visit my business website at shakirabrown.com. And if you are not following me on Twitter, why aren't you? It's so easy to do so. Just go to Twitter, enter at Small Biz Whisperer, that's at Small Biz Whisperer, where I post a myriad of tips and tricks of my own insightful musings, as well as some from small business marketing and sales gurus. So definitely check that out. And of course, you can see my social media links at momentmasters.com in the show notes for this episode or any episode. So I'm going to give you a fair warning that this is one of my longer episodes, but you will get great value out of it. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be able to look at your own actions differently and to scrutinize and maybe question some of the things that you've been doing that maybe aren't yielding the results you want. So listen all the way through. And if you listen all the way through, you will also hear about 2 opportunities to help you further expand your knowledge and to be more effective as a small business owner. So please be sure to listen all the way through to the end. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I'm going to share something with you in this episode that I probably haven't shared with you before. I really love Chinese food. And I recently ordered some Chinese food, and when they delivered it, it came with like 7 fortune cookies. And by the way, I do not like fortune cookies, but they were more than happy to oblige me with all these. So I figured it at least would read the fortunes. And it just so happened around that time, I was trying to come up with an idea for what this episode is going to be about, doing a sort of a look ahead with some great advice for small business owners like you. And I opened up a couple of the fortune cookies, and there was some good stuff that I was able to post up on Instagram. And I got to the last fortune cookie, and I was really excited by what I read because it says something that I think about all the time as it relates to small businesses, entrepreneurs like you. And I'm going to read you the fortune cookie message. It says, "Not to alter one's faults is to be faulty indeed." Now think about that for a second. Just ponder that. Not to alter one's faults is to be faulty indeed. That is pretty much a description of many of the small business owners that I encounter, whether it be through my own business or is it through other organizations in which I consult for and offer advice to small business owners. I find that the inability for entrepreneurs to right their mistakes is a vicious, vicious cycle. And I wanted to make sure we cover some recent stories that I have that can help you maybe see yourself and put you in a better direction as you continue to move forward. And if nothing else, you'll be entertained because these stories are somewhat entertaining, but they're sad too, because what happens when anyone continues to make the same mistakes over and over again, nothing good comes out of that, right? In fact, I'm sure you've heard the unofficial, what do they call it? The unofficial definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Well, I can tell you that many small business owners live up to that unofficial definition of insanity every day, all day. I truly believe that every business owner can learn from the mistakes of others, just like you do in any part of your life. So that's why I have put together 3 stories, like I mentioned, real life stories of entrepreneurs, small business owners like you, who literally are living the nightmare of not righting their faults. And I plan to share those 3 stories right after this brief message. Let me ask you, would you like to make your product or service irresistible to buyers? Would you like to attract more prospects and customers easier and more effectively than ever before? Would you like to never again have to explain what you do or what you offer over and over again to the same people? Would you like to learn the one thing that will boost your business into action? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then what you want is a brand strategy. If you would like to have a branding experience that is actually rewarding, enlightening, and nearly effortless, then check out my 3-month, one-on-one, private intensive brand coaching program designed for business leaders like you who are ambitious, busy, work hard, and are ready to invest in your future success. For more information, click the link in the show notes of this episode. You can also email me at podcast@momentmasters.com for details. Remember, only you can decide to make your business grow into one that allows you to spend more time doing absolutely what you love, or you can simply treat it as a hobby. It's your choice. Okay, so let's get into these 3 stories I promised. And the first one is focused around a single owner of a multi-location medical practice. This is a doctor of chiropractics facility, although the owner himself does not practice chiropractics. He does something else. He has this whole thing that he does. And I was brought in to speak with him and his marketing person about potentially working with them and helping, which I will say, helping him get more people to patronize his medical practice. Apparently, appointments are down and people are not coming in, and he was looking for some ways to basically put people in the office like all at once, without thought, which, by the way, is insane, which is the whole theme of this episode. But in examining their website, which was confusing, I noticed they had no messaging. There's nothing special about what they do that's apparent to the user, the individual that might visit their website. And this doctor was very focused on getting Google ads up and getting clicks and things. It seems like he had read a whole bunch of information about search engine marketing and thought that he should be doing all of it. But the one thing he skipped over was strategy and being able to go from someone clicking on an ad to actually converting. And the one thing that wasn't happening, despite all that he was spending on his SEM, search engine marketing, was conversions. He wasn't getting enough. And he, unfortunately, something that marred his sort of view of this, of SEM, was that he did one campaign a while back and he had some success. He got a whole bunch of people to come in, but that may have been just an anomaly, right? But in recent time, he's not seeing that type of traction. And all he wants, he doesn't care about creating a perception about his business or trying to be the practice of choice for chiropractics or whatever the heck else he was doing. He just wanted more people to come in to spend money. And obviously, if you've been listening to this show, branding and your messaging are totally something that I'm all about. And when I encounter a business that hasn't gone through that part of the strategy, I suggest that they do that. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure we covered also was this, to fix this website, which was, like I said, it was abysmal, just very confusing. It was all about the practice. It was all about them. There was nothing there to put a potential patient at ease or to make them feel like, oh, this is where I want to go. This is where I need to be. It was all just about, here's what we do. Here's what we offer. We do this. We do that. And my suggestion to them, I put a proposal together. And I put together a very competitive price package to help optimize the website, create landing pages, which he did not have, specific landing pages geared toward the text of the Google ad that they were doing, so that when people click on the ad, they see messaging that related to that ad, so they don't feel like they've gone somewhere they're not supposed to do. All the things that you're supposed to do to strategize around your marketing activities. And again, competitive price, presented them with the first part of the project, which would be to fix the website. This doctor was not interested in anything that I had to say about strategy. Never has been. Me, all of my credentials, what I do, nothing mattered. All this doctor cares about is people to walk in the door. But unfortunately, he doesn't understand that people don't walk in the door and patronize your business because you want them to. They have to want to patronize your business and to be a part of whatever it is that you're offering, and to give you their hard-earned money and trust you with it, and trust you with their medical care, whatever it is that your offer is. So fast forward a few weeks, and I'm in contact with this marketing person who now is fretting over something that he disagreed with. And this marketing person was trying to convey to the same doctor who poo-pooed my very, very competitively priced proposal to fix and repair and to strategize around a website that was going to be more higher converting with calls to action and all the things that you should have in place when you're doing SEM. This doctor is now preoccupied and fixated on doing an every door direct mail campaign. If you don't know what that is, if you've ever gotten a postcard in the mail, usually they're very nicely glossy, they have some images on them, for like a local doctor or a plumber or a dentist's office, and it really is not addressed to you specifically, but it has one of those little UPC, like a code on it, and it says postmaster or whatever is the address on it. That is usually part of a every door direct mail campaign. It is very pricey, especially if you do not have a strategy in place as to whom you are trying to reach, because you can really slice and dice zip codes and send it to every door in a zip code or part of a zip code. You don't have to send it to a whole bunch of people. But of course, this guy has no strategy, has no clue about really how to do marketing. So he wants to do this major campaign with no brand messages in place, no strategy for what he wanted people to do, calls to action, no idea of what people are interested in or how he's going to get their attention. He just wants to do what he's been doing for 20-something years, which has not worked. And I will tell you right now that campaign ended up costing 6 times what I was offering to fix his website. 6 times more. We're talking like almost $20,000. So he went from poo-pooing spending money to fix his website to doing something that's completely a waste of money without a strategy in place, and spending 6 times what he could have paid me to get him in the right space to be able to capture more people through his website, through the right messages, calls to action, all the things that you need. This guy, this doctor, is totally stuck on stupid. There's no other way for me to say it. He's been doing the same thing over and over again. The same thing. Unofficial definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That is this doctor. Not very bright. And instead of him listening to seasoned experts that he was very lucky to actually come in contact with, because I'm going to tell you something. This guy is so clueless. You could take him to the bank, but that's not my style. I don't do that. I help people, and I give you a fair price, and I give you the service that you need. He didn't want that. He wanted whatever if I was going to work with him, all he wanted was for me to say to him, he didn't actually, probably wouldn't have even cared if I did it, but all he wanted to hear was that if I do X, you're going to have 50 people walking in the door. That is not marketing. Where on earth can you actually do that and promise that? So the moral of this story is this doctor, because he thinks that he knows best, despite the fact that none of his efforts really have created the practice that he wants. Scrambling. I don't even know how he keeps it open. Scrambling to keep people walking in the door, spending an exorbitant amount of money on non-strategic marketing. No one will find in a marketing textbook out of college for you to just do random $20,000, $25,000 marketing postcard campaigns without a strategy in place as to the end result, what you want, and how you're going to get people to do what you need them to do. So that's the first. And we're going to call that one Dr. Ryder. That's not the doctor's name, but that's the Dr. Ryder story. And so you can remember that one, and hopefully you will think through, look at some of the things that you've been working on and doing over and over again. Look at what the results have been. If they're not anywhere close to what you wanted, you need to do something different, okay? You need to find out what's missing and why it is not working for you. That's what you got to do. There's no other solution to that. You must sit back, flip through what you've spent, right? Look at any campaigns you might have been running. What do they say? What are you asking people to do? Are you asking people to do anything? Which is a mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make. They create marketing campaigns with no calls to action. People are not going to just do what you think they'll do. You have to tell them to do something. Look at what you've spent money on in the last 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is. Examine what the results were. Did you convert anyone from a prospect to a sale? Did you reach whatever goal you already had in place in your mind that you wanted to reach? If you haven't, you need to now strategize around reaching your intended goal. And it may include you hiring someone to help you do it. A seasoned person who knows more than you about these things, and you need to keep an open mind at all times as to whether or not you are comfortable with moving forward in any direction. That's all. You just need to keep an open mind, right? You just need to let go and focus on your core competencies. Let go, focus on your core competencies. I said it twice. And identify who is available to help you reach the goals that you want in the areas in which you're not so good at. That is an important thing. And I hope that this story is resonating with the individuals who are stuck on stupid like that doctor. So my next story is about a bagel shop owner. Who doesn't love bagels, right? So I stopped into a bagel shop. I hadn't been there before. I'm in the area that I'm currently living in. I haven't explored, and I found a bagel shop that I didn't know was there, and I stopped in. And it was a small place, clean, They had a nice counter space. I noticed they had about 4 to 5 refrigerators with bottled drinks and, cartons of different things. And I can tell you, I am what I call a bagel connoisseur. I grew up in North New Jersey, and there was a place that I grew up eating their bagels as a child. I would buy them for my own son. And those bagels are the best bagels I've ever had. Even in New York, they don't compare to the bagels at this place. And so I'm a bagel snob. So, I was try this place out. I can't get to my place in North Jersey because I don't live there anymore. So I said, I'm going to give this place a try. And I go in, and they're very nice and pleasant. And I order a bagel. And, I would never think to get a bagel toasted at the place where I go to. You don't even need to toast them. Even if you get them in the lower part of the day or late morning, they're amazing once they slice them and put cream cheese. You don't need to heat them up. They're amazing. So I haven't found a place that I can do that. So I always ask, well, are they hard? And and the guy said, oh, no, they're not too bad. Maybe I'll just heat it for you. I won't toast it. I'll just put it in and let it get warm. And I said, okay, that's fine. He was very nice about it. He put on some cream cheese. It was great. He put the cream cheese on. He wrapped it up for me. And I'm looking around, and one of the things at the place that I go to, they have these 2 big freezers on the back of the store, and they've had these freezers forever. And even the little shop that I used to go to as a kid, which was owned by the father of the gentleman who owns a bagel chain with the same recipe now in North New Jersey, they have this freezer, which I think is genius. Every night, any leftover bagels that they have, they put them in bags, six to a bag. The bagel bag is branded with their business name on it, and they put a little tie on it. And on the bottom, they check off what flavor it is, and they put them in this freezer. The bagels, I think, are like $1 or 95 cents each fresh. But if you buy a bag of day-old bagels, or however old, because they're in the freezer, so they just keep filling that freezer up, and people keep buying them. So the bagels are in there longer than could be in there weeks before they're purchased. But the bagels are amazing when you buy them frozen. You can just heat them up. You can thaw them out and heat them up, toast them, put them in the oven, and they taste just like they just came out from the bagel shop. They're amazing. And they charge you only $2 for 6 bagels because they're older bagels. They were frozen fresh, fresh frozen bagels or whatever. So I think this is a great idea because a lot of bagel places or places that sell baked goods in general, they will sell you their wares at the end of the day for half price, right? And then whatever they don't sell, they'll either throw it out, which I know of a couple of bagel shops that does that, and that's why we're talking about this. Or they have a charity that comes and picks up the food, and they bring it to a shelter or whatever it is. So I'm always in business consultant mode, even when I'm going to buy a bagel on a regular day. So I speak to the person there, and I say, what do you guys do with the bagels in the afternoon? I said, do you sell 50% off? Do you sell day-old bagels? She said, oh, no, we would never do that. And I said, why? She said, well, the owner, we're going to call him Emo. Emo is set in his ways. And I said, well, I always tell people I'm a business consultant, so I can't help myself. But I noticed you have like 4 refrigerators filled to the brims with soft drinks and juices and sodas and whatnot. And she said, well, yeah, we have those, but we don't have a freezer. And I said, I'm sure that you would probably make more money reselling the bagels that didn't sell the day before to sell them the day after or however long it takes them to sell in a freezer. Get rid of one of those refrigerators with low margin drinks, because they are, and sell something that you've already spent money on. You don't have to buy more bagels. You already had, these are bagels that you didn't sell. She was like, oh, he's too set in his ways. He would never do anything. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, I'm giving this woman free advice, free business consulting advice. I normally charge a lot of money for, right? understands her boss, which is good. But to a fault, this boss, the owner, Emo, is so close-minded to change and to optimization of his business that she wouldn't even bring that back to him, right? She didn't say, oh, well, you know what? That's interesting. I'll let him know. She just dismissed it. She said no immediately. Oh, he would never do anything. He's just too set in his ways. In fact, we just throw them out every night. I gasped. Only because that's what I do. I gasp. And I said, oh, so he'd rather throw them out than to figure out a way to sell them at an affordable price to people who want to kind of stockpile them in their freezer, or to bring them with them to travel, or to send them to their kids when they're at college or whatever. And that was that. I took my little bagel and I left. And when I walked out of there, I said, that is an amazing situation there. The owner has trained his people to not bring him new ideas. This, my friends, is a bad situation. If you have a business and you have employees, the one thing you need to do is empower these employees to come to you with any ideas they might have. Number one reason is because you don't know everything, right? And they're on the ground floor. If you're not working the business all day, every day like them, you're not seeing and hearing everything that's going on. So you actually need to create an environment in your organization, in your company, that invites people to be a part of the journey of your business and to help optimize it and find ways to save money and make more money. But because Emo, the bagel shop owner, was so set and stuck in his ways, his employees would never advise him on anything that came through to the store. In fact, they just probably come in, they clock in, they put on their apron or whatever they put on for the day, and plastic gloves to handle the food. They make their food, they clean, they keep the place nice, and they leave. This is the kiss of death long term for a business, because what happens is, if you're so far away from the day-to-day operations of your business and you're not getting the feedback that you need to take it to the next level or position it so it can be sold, so you can retire, or whatever it is, it's going to be very difficult for you to increase your profits without change. And without a mindset of allowing change, you're never going to change. So the moral of that story is to empower your employees to help you optimize the business. Empower your employees to bring new ideas to you, and without fear, and mostly without fear of rejection, because that's what I'm thinking. I think that these people have tried to bring things to Emo, but Emo always knocks them down, so they get beat up, right? They get a punch on the chin, and they're knocked out. They're not getting up from that, right? So you have to create the environment that you want to have so that your business grows. And the only way to do that when you have a business with employees is to empower your people, your staff, the people you pay every day, to be innovators within your organization and to come up with ways to make your business better, right? So that's lesson 2, is to kind of get out of your own way, was the first one, right? The second one is similar to that, but it's creating an environment so that your employees feel like their ideas count and will be considered seriously. And this will help any business grow. If you make your employees feel like their ideas are not worth $1, they're going to keep the dollar to themselves. They're going to just go and do their work. You'll see that you're still making money, but you won't be making half as much as you could if you allowed them to explore ways for you to optimize your business. Okay. So that's story number 2, bagel shop owner, Emo. Story number 3 is the final story of this episode of the Moment Master Show. Hope you are enjoying these stories, and I hope that you are taking them to heart. I had the pleasure of meeting a gentleman who had some restaurant industry business experience in the middle of 2017. I counseled him. He was a very nice man. I always ask people who have restaurants, and that's what he had. He had a restaurant. And I always ask restaurant owners or people thinking of a restaurant, have they ever worked in one? He said, yes, I have years of experience. And he was really comfortable with opening the restaurant. But then I'm starting to hear the growing pains. He opened up and no one is really coming in. He renovated the place and put money into it, and it's nice. But no one comes in and stays and sits and eat. And I was a little upset over the story because he seemed like a really great guy. I was pleased to hear that he had restaurant experience, but he made a few mistakes. And one of them was he had a partner that was no good. And I don't know how that netted out, but I think that the partner may have walked away with money before they even opened. And that put him, this person I was counseling, advising, in a lurch early on. And this business owner was feeling the pressures of making no money. Open for 3-4 months, no profits. Losses, all losses. 2 employees, 1 part-time. And these people were very, very warm people. They had a good outlook on their business. Unfortunately, the location that he chose was not in a desirable place. There was a lot of foot traffic, but parking near his restaurant was not easy. And he had to negotiate 1 or 2 spaces, I think, close by. I think the landlord of the shopping plaza he was in, I think they were able to accommodate him with that. But, 1 or 2 spaces is not going to help when you have a restaurant that can seat like 20 people, right? So parking was challenging. People are lazy. They don't want to walk too far or so. But he's in this huge shopping plaza with a lot of foot traffic. But he wasn't getting any patrons to come in. He had a few regular senior citizens, and they were taking advantage of the old senior citizen discount, which, of course, cuts into your profit margins. And so that's a problem. And then he got sucked in very early on into one of those Clipper magazines. So the Clipper magazine, which I may have even mentioned on the Moment Master show before, but it's one of those magazines that comes for free in the mail. It's not really a magazine. It's called Clipper Magazine, but it's not. There's no editorial content in it. But it's filled with like coupons for different restaurants, and you'll find the same plumber guy in there and the same tree cutting guy and all that stuff. They're always in there. And then you have the restaurants. And then they have this other thing that they do where they tell you that you can have an ad in there and offer to people to purchase like a coupon for $20 worth of food, but only pay $10. And when you do that, you don't have to pay for the ad, which is interesting. So basically, they're honoring, the restaurants, are honoring a coupon that they do not make any money off of unless the person comes in there, but they lose because the person can get $20 worth of food for $10 that never gets to the restaurant. And this person had gotten really caught up in that sales pitch from this Clipper magazine. Warning: if you don't have a lot of profits right now, in the moment, do not agree to have a free ad that puts you at a loss every time somebody comes in to use the coupon. Just don't do it. But that's what was happening. And he got really caught up in that. And I told him that, unless you have the revenue coming in to kind of backfill the loss of $20 worth of food, because again, he never, even though the person was paying $10 to Clipper magazine, the owner never got any of that 10. That 10 went to Clipper to pay for the larger ad for the restaurant owner. So the restaurant owner was taking a loss of basically $20 worth of food every time someone came in and used that coupon. It's really a messed up marketing strategy, right? It's not a marketing strategy. It's throwing darts. And unfortunately, these Clipper magazine people, they prey on unsuspecting business owners who know nothing about marketing or strategy, and they just take their money. And this guy got really caught up in that. And then he was also in his coupon. So remember, he's now accepting $20 worth of $20 coupon that he got no money for. right? So he's got to give people $20 worth of food for free. And then in the magazine, he had his own advertising space with his own coupon that gave people like 10 or 15% off their meals. So, and I think that you couldn't use both of them, but this was killing his profit margin, right? He had no profit margin. He was very frustrated. I advised the guy. I gave him some tips on how to leverage the people in the parking lot. You know, the easiest thing you can do when you have a restaurant business that's starting up is to constantly have people standing outside giving samples of what you offer, of some of your like most delicious food. That gets people in the door every time. Have you ever been to a food court at a mall and you see one of those fast food Japanese places? I think one of them's called Sakura, and there's always somebody standing out with a little toothpick of the chicken, right? And you take that and you go, it's so delicious, and you go buy it, right? It works. I advised him to do that. There was a bunch of things I advised him to do. I'm telling you this story, fast forward now, that was maybe over the summer of 2017. Fast forward December, late December, holiday time, December 2017, I drive by this place. It is completely gutted out. There's a sign on the window that says, for lease. The guy is gone. He never made it past 9 months of being in business. And although he understood how to work in a restaurant, having been a cook or whatnot, running a restaurant, right? Operating one and cooking in one are two different things. And unfortunately, he found that out the hard way. He also didn't have any money to really invest in the business to keep it open, right? He was just bled dry from the very beginning. No profit margins. No profits were coming in. He didn't have any money to live. He wasn't paying himself. He was losing. Every month was a negative. And then he got caught up in the coupon scam, I'm going to call it, for Clipper magazine. And it's a scam because if they were to advise their clients better and say, this would make sense if you had this, or, if you're not making a lot of money, maybe this isn't right for you. No, they just say, look, you get a free ad. People will come in with $20 coupon to get food. You got to give it to them because the money they paid, the $10 they paid for the $20 coupon, pays for your ad. And it is a vicious cycle. And I don't believe that this business owner did any of the advice that I gave him, giving the samples out, coming up with strategies. He had a nice space for private rooms. I said, what is this? And he said, well, this is a semi-private space. I said, people always need a semi-private space for baby shower, anything that's small that they can do, fit 20 people, 25 people. People love a free space. If you can promote that, get people in the door, tell them that they can have their event there and they just have to pay for food. People always love a free space where they just have to pay for food. I don't think any of that happened, unfortunately, and the place is gone. So the moral of that story is to, when you have a business that is going to take you some time to get some traction and for people to really patronize, like a restaurant, unless you have a big name in food, it is going to take a long time for you to get regular customers. And your food has to be super fantastic, right? People have to leave out of there and call their friends. Oh my God, I just had this amazing X, right? And if you don't have that, it takes a long time to get people to come back and come back. And you have to have a strategy in place. The name of the business also, I didn't even go over that. The name of the business was confusing. The visual identity, the logo, they used a font that looked very Asian, and it was not a Chinese restaurant. So I think people were confused as to what it even was. It was like a little diner, but it wasn't in a separate building. It was in a space, like I said, in a strip mall, and with high foot traffic. And at a place like that, you would think that it was going to be an amazing opportunity, but it wasn't. And it was also in an area where some people are still not comfortable going to for various safety reasons or bad perception, bad branding of the area. So with all those combinations, he had a failed business to begin. And I find that extremely, extremely sad. But I'm hoping that his story and hearing the mistake he made with the Clipper magazine and the mistake he made with having an improper brand, a brand name that was confusing, a visual identity that was confusing, and the unwillingness to be able to offer samples and really hustle to get people in. I just want to tell you, there was like a little like a CNA medical college across from it, with hundreds of students every day that came outside for break every day, and he couldn't capture those people. Now that says something. I mean, because those are people who leave that building to look for food, and they rarely thought to go into his restaurant. Okay, so you have to make a bigger splash. You have to do more than just put a sign up and feel confident. You actually have to create a product and a brand that people want and people don't think that they can't live without. And that's the moral of this story, is to really be a little bit more strategic when you're starting a business. And I'm going to close this episode with this final message. If you feel like you can do everything, you're wrong. If you feel like you will survive the first 3 years of your business if you do everything yourself and save money, you're wrong. Everybody needs to invest in their business. Everybody needs to hire people who are great at what they do so that you can be great at what your core competency is. And then that person you can hire and they can leverage their core competency to help you grow. You cannot have a business that you do everything yourself. I recently heard a story. I have to just share this last thing, that a library was actually putting together like a workshop to help small business owners figure out how to create their own logos in a tool, in a graphic design tool. Now, I'm all about, creating like social media graphics. It needs to be done, right? Logos is a different story. No, unless you are a graphic designer or have some sort of art skills, no small business owner should be designing their own logos. It's a mistake. And if you are building a business and creating one, or you're looking to grow it and kind of rejigger, rebrand, you should hire someone to do that for you, unless you have done it before yourself successfully and, have won awards for it or something. I don't know. But I need you to focus on your core competencies as you continue on with your business, and then look at what you're doing that you shouldn't be doing and figure out how to hire someone. And when I say figure out how to hire someone, I mean for you to find a budget to pay someone to do it. If you look for something for free, you're never going to get it. Or if you find someone to do it for free, you're never going to get what you want, because people don't like working for free. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know what world people are on sometimes, but you must find people that are great at what they do and be willing to pay them what they deserve. And every business can be a success. The stories you hear about businesses being successful are not anomalies. They just did things right. And they failed sometimes, but they failed forward. And that's what you have to do. So in thinking about the fortune cookie message, my fortune that I got, I'm going to repeat it for this one last time. Not to alter one's faults is to be faulty indeed. I am seriously begging you to take my fortune cookie message to heart. Look at what you're doing in your business. Find out what's not making sense, what's failing, what's at fault, and right those faults. If that means hiring someone, then you should definitely do that. And find the budget to pay someone. So, if you're the business owner who is not really sure of what to do or what mistakes you've made or how to fix anything, I've put together a 1-hour in-depth webinar live with me on multiple dates and times at functionalentrepreneur.com. And in this webinar, I am going to reveal what I've put together as the 7 characteristics of a functional entrepreneur. And that's functional entrepreneur. There will be a link in the show notes. If you join me in this webinar, again, 1-hour live webinar with me, you can literally watch it in your jammies, okay? On your bed or whatever workspace that you like the most. I will reveal what I've put together from my years of experience and from what I've seen in the business world, the 7 characteristics to help you succeed as an entrepreneur. And everybody needs to have these 7 characteristics. So remember, the website address to sign up for this webinar, go to functionalentrepreneur.com. That's functionalentrepreneur.com. There will be a link in the show notes, and sign up for the time and date that's convenient for you. This will be going on a rolling basis. So whenever you go there, whenever you hear this, you don't have to worry. There will be a webinar available for you to listen to. And you'll be able to participate live and ask me questions. And there'll be also some special offers available in the webinar. So I don't want you to miss it. I want to make sure I get this message out to as many people as possible. So if you are running a business and you're in the first 3 years of your business, whether you've just started, you're in year 1, 2, or 3, this webinar is for you. And if you know someone who's either thinking of starting a business or they're fledgling and a year or 2 into a business, you need to tell them to go to functionalentrepreneur.com and sign up for one of the many webinar dates and times that I have available. And you'll be able to interact with me live in this webinar and get the secrets to being a functional entrepreneur. Because you know what? No one makes money as a dysfunctional entrepreneur. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to go on to iTunes and look up Moment Master Show if you're not listening to this on iTunes. And if you're already there, that's great. It's going to be a lot easier. You click on write a review, and you can plug in a review. It doesn't have to be too long. Tell everybody how much you love it. Submit it, and it'll show up. You can mention your business name. I don't think you can include a link, but you can certainly mention your business and just put a little note about what you got out of the episode. It makes it a lot easier for people to find this podcast and to keep it going. But just so you know, if people can find it and read a review and listen to it, and you'll get a lot more fabulous episodes if we keep getting people to listen. And while you're there, if you haven't subscribed yet to the Moment Master Show, you need to subscribe on whatever platform that you listen to it. You can listen to it on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, Player FM. There's a whole bunch of them out there. Just make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. Another thing I'd love for you to do is when you go to momentmasters.com, and that's the official web page for the Moment Master Show. You can see all the past episodes and my bio and some great offers on there. But there's one thing I want you to do. I want you to click on the hot list button. It's a little box on the right-hand side. You'll see a little fire and it's a picture of me and it says the hot list. Click on that. I'm keeping that up to date with like the latest and greatest things that are going on. You know, books that I think you should read, or different platforms to help you better do your social media, all kinds of stuff. Go on there, check that out. Feel free to click on anything there. You don't have to buy anything if you don't want to, but it's good for you to know. Sometimes I mention different things on the show. That's where I put the stuff that I mention. I put it there in addition to in the show notes of each episode. But that's like a central place. You don't have to go sifting through different episodes. You can totally go over there and find whatever you need for something that I've mentioned on the show. So definitely do that. I don't think you'll have any problems finding it. Like I said, it's on the right-hand side. The hot list, this Moment Master Show hot list, definitely check that out. Also, if you're looking to hear some experts, like in the course of several days from the comfort of your home, go over some of the most important things that you need to be focused on for your business, I am putting together the 2018 Growth and Success Con virtual conference, which is going to take place in September 2018, and hopefully September's following that as well. So we're going to just focus on 2018 right now. Go to growthsuccesscon.com. You'll be able to register for free. Let me just repeat that. Go to growthsuccesscon.com. You will be able to register for free to attend. It's going to be over the course of 2 days. It may go to 3 depending upon how many speakers sign up for this thing. But sign up for it. It'll be a great way for you to have access to some really amazing presentations on marketing, social media, how to grow your business, finance, all of those great topics. Everything that you need is going to be a part of this. And the best news is that if you sign up and say you can't make it, you will be notified automatically of the replays. So you won't miss anything of it. You'll have access to it in perpetuity. So go to growthsuccesscon.com. There will be a link in the show notes for you to register for free to attend Growth Success Con 2018, the virtual conference, live or in a replay if you happen to not be able to make it. But growthsuccesscon.com. I hope you are able to do that. And if you are a thought leader that could share your expertise and your wisdom, and you want to be in front of thousands of small business owners, then you definitely should sign up to be a speaker partner for this event. That also is available at growthsuccesscon.com. Just click on Call for Speakers. That's going to be going on a rolling basis for probably up till about 60 days before the actual conference. So you have time if you happen to be listening to this before September 2018. But definitely go there, sign up to be a speaker, submit a proposal. We're going to be looking at all of them. I really hope you do. It's going to be a great way to market your business to a bunch of small business owners who might need you. I'm telling everybody that this is a great opportunity both for a business owner who just wants to just learn as much as possible. And it's also a great way to position yourself. If you are a thought leader, you can be one of our speaker partners who are going to get like a ton of marketing stuff related to this thing. So if you go onto the Call for Speakers, all the information is there. So growthsuccesscon.com, whether you're a speaker and you want to submit yourself, or if you're just a small business owner that wants to get something for free, growthsuccesscon.com is where you need to go. Definitely check it out. We've come to the end of this episode. I am Shakira Brown, also known as the Small Biz Whisperer. And wherever you may be and whatever time it is right now, I hope you learned a little something to truly become a moment